Hey everyone, this is Pig for Life, and today we're doing a video review for the Hasbro MP-04 Masterpiece Prowl. So this is the US release that just came out basically at the same time as Masterpiece Sunstorm, although I actually ended up getting MP-05 Sunstorm before MP-04. In any case, we're going to get right into it because I'm trying to make my review shorter. So here we go with the packaging review. Again, very familiar if you've collected any of these new MP line from Hasbro. The one thing I didn't notice until my last review is that there is a slight change starting for MP-03 with this sidebar. While this sidebar was always kind of here, the Transformers going up this way is new. MP-01 Assist from MP-02 Soundwave had different font that went kind of vertically downwards as opposed to sideways going up. In any case, it's a very nice, again, in the same kind of packaging that we've seen with this nice slipcover. Has the Toys R Us exclusive seal on it. The front has Masterpiece Prowl in his robot mode and his alt mode at the bottom. The nice Autobot logo that comes around the side, and on the back we'll zoom in, and this time they show Masterpiece Prowl. This is the same kind of image that we saw with the Takara release coming out of MP-10 Optimus Prime's trailer. And one thing of note is the font down here actually says Masterpiece Optimus Prime figure sold separately, and while they should obviously say that, it's just kind of interesting that they note that because really Masterpiece Prime has never really been sold in the US yet. I mean, there was the Hasbro release of Masterpiece MP-10, but it wasn't under the Masterpiece line, I don't believe, or at least it wasn't really branded as such. So you do see the alt mode, police car mode, and down here we see the robot mode. So very typical of what we've been seeing from Hasbro with this packaging. Zooming back out and coming back around to the side, it does say it's an advanced level 3 transformation. It's not a very difficult transformation though, at least for collectors. For little kids though, I can see why. So on the side, we have Prowl's bio. I'll just hold it there for a quick second so you guys can pause it if you'd like. And then we get his stats down here. Right, and then coming back around to the front and zooming back out. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into the package. So we'll unbox, opening up from the side, again just a piece of tape on the right side, cut that open. And one thing that is kind of interesting is they do actually have a little hole here that makes it much easier to pull out this time. So I just pull him out like so. Let me get his box, get his instructions out the way. And he did come packaged sideways like this, and as you can see, it's a very big waist to say. So let me move this off to the side real quick, and just as a comparison, let's go ahead and take a look at the US box with the Takara box. So as you can see, this is a massive difference, both in terms of width and height. It's a really big packaging. It seems very wasteful. I mean, I know why they did it, because they wanted to keep the packaging at least similar in size, so it looks good and displays well on the shelf as a cohesive series. But yeah, it is a little bit silly how much space is being wasted here. All right. And for this figure, we do get an instruction booklet. that shows exactly how transformation works. On the back has a very big picture of Prowl, and it goes in to show how the gun is held in the hand with a peg, as well as how the handle flips down so you can attach it to his police lights, his siren, yeah, I guess it's siren lights, I don't know. And then lastly it shows on the right side the cannons, how they flip out from the back. Alright, we'll get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. And again, this is what he looks like. I don't know why they packaged him sideways. It even looks kind of upside down. At least this way the gun wouldn't be upside down, but whatever. But it is a nice clamshell. It is secured into place with these kind of up. Now you guys see my entire back. So let's go ahead and bring that back up. Open this. Pull out Prowl, and he does come stored in robot mode, obviously, while the Takara version did come stored in alt mode. We're going to zoom in a bit. And here's his gun. So because we have him already in robot mode, I'm going to do a quick review, but I'm also going to do a comparison as well, because that's what we're going to cover, the comparison with the Takara Tomy version. So in alt mode, he's a great looking figure. He really does remind you of Prowl coming straight out of the cartoon series. His head sculpt, let me see if I can zoom in real quick. His head sculpt does look good. I always like this head sculpt. I think it's one of the better ones that we've seen. It looks very plain, I guess some people might say, but I think it really does embody what Prowl looks like, coming straight out of the cartoon. So we'll take a look from the front, the side. I guess one of the things that a lot of people note is it does, because the hood is the chest, it does make him have a very big chest. The back, this is actually a little bit mistransformed. I did notice that before. You actually have to bring this back piece up, and there's pegs on the inside of the hood, and those are supposed to go into these little slots here. So that is the correct transformation for them. There you go. It's a nice snug fit. So that is how it's supposed to look up on the back like that. On the other side, and here are the cannons. They come already out in the packaging, but you can't extend these as well. You can pull this out, these out a bit. They're a little tight on that one. Was a little tight, but you can pull them out a decent amount. Not a lot, but it's fine. Now I'm gonna push that back in. Okay. It doesn't come with the Amazon exclusive, Amazon Japan exclusive rockets, which is unfortunate for the price that this guy is coming in at. Retails for $69.99. I thought that they would at least include that, so that's actually kind of a shame. But this is actually my first time looking at him out of the package, and mine does have a lot of defects. Like right here, you can see that there's something on the window here. There's some paint defects here. We'll probably see a lot more. There's some here as well. I'll probably see a lot more in when we get into alt mode. But yeah, that's not coming off, so I'll probably have to return this one because of the amount of defects. All right. Actually, what I'm going to do is first, since we're going to have to come back into robot mode later anyway when I do transformation, I'm going to do the comparison a little bit later. So let's go ahead. If the gun does store here in his hand, so there's a small peg on the handle on both sides, and there's a slot in both hands. I haven't tried this yet, but a lot of Prowls have had, in the Takara Tomy release, had problems holding the gun straight. So let's see if this guy holds. So you can see he still doesn't hold it perfectly straight, so it's the same kind of issue, that basically the slot is too far back in the hand. It should be sitting a little bit more forward, or positioned a little bit more forward in the hand to allow it to sit a little bit straighter. So that's a little bit better, if you can see there. Let's see, and I think the one hand is worse than the other. I believe the right hand is always the culprit for this mold. Oh yeah, see, so the left hand, even without trying to straighten it out, it's much straighter. So my Prowl has always been left-handed. I was hoping maybe I could replace him with this US version and not have any issues. All right, and a nice Autobot logo here. So as far as articulation, he doesn't have a ball jointed head. It's just on a swivel, so it does go all the way around. These are articulated, and again, if you pull this back piece out, these fold right back in, straight down. And then you'll pull this back up. So it's up to you how you want to display them. If you want to display them as with the cannons out or cannons in, it's up to you. Arms do have a great range of motion. I mean, all the Masterpieces really do. Upper bicep swivel. He does have, let's get this out of the way. He does have double jointed elbows, and this really does help for transformation, really. That's what it's for. His wrists do swivel. His hands are, all his fingers are, all four of them are at one piece and pinned in. The forefinger is a little bit back to kind of look like a trigger finger. Okay. He does have waist articulation that does go all the way around, and again, that's really for transformation as well, but that's great to have. He does have these little flaps here. His shoulders, because of transformation, they're on this hinge, so it gives them a lot of up and down, but it really only looks good up here with his wheels up top. His foot is on dual hinge, out and forward and back. He does have some swivel at the upper thigh, not all the way around, but pretty close. He does have a double jointed knee, and his foot does have some articulation, both forward and back to a degree, and he has a little bit of ankle tilt, not a whole ton, but definitely good enough. When I was looking at the back, I should have mentioned. I got distracted by this backpack, but a lot of people complain about this mold being super hollow on the back, from the back. You can see straight into the legs here, straight into the feet. That is a really big complaint. From the front, he looks perfect. From the back, you will definitely notice that, and that's a bit of a shame. But it's never bothered me, because I mean, how often do I look at Prowl from the back? In my displays case, never. Okay. All right, so from going from robot mode to alt mode, first thing I do is unpeg the backpack a bit, and then rotate these shoulder cannons in, and then I pull out the hood. Pull the backpack up a little bit, because you're going to then need to rotate at the hips 180 degrees, because the legs do need to be faced that way. And now we start getting to the weird part of this transformation. The legs are unique, so it's easier to show you. So first, pull down the insoles. Well, I'll just do this one first. The insole. Tuck this little space piece back, and then you're going to rotate at the knee. The double joint goes up and comes up and collapses in on itself. And you'll know you did it right, because this white piece will align with this back of the thigh. And so that's pretty normal. But again, pushing this space filler in, If you pull out the foot to the outside, you'll see this double hinge mechanism that kind of accordions back into the slot here. And so you're going to want to pull the toe portion up to fill that area. And you can straighten out this window and you'll peg that closed, as you see. And then we can come back around, pull in the insole again, snap that in place, and then take the exhaust, which is the heel for this foot, in. Okay, so same thing for the other side. Pull the insole out. Actually, for right now, let's pull this window up first, because I believe that is the correct transformation. You're gonna collapse the knee back on itself by pulling forward and then up and then back. And again, you'll know because this white piece here will be straight with the back of the silver thigh. Again, rotating the heel, the back of the heel out, you'll expose the weird mechanism, and you're going to accordion that up to close in on itself. And I can probably explain this 100 times before. If you don't have the figure, it's going to be confusing. We're going to rotate the insole in, snap it in place, and then this heel folds back up. And then you snap peg the two halves together, and they have a couple of corresponding tabs. Alright, so for the upper body, you want to loosen the tabbed in small chest panel here that's underneath the front of the car from the hood. So just push it up. It doesn't need a lot of force, but you need some to open it up. It's then just to get them out of the way, you can pull the arms. They're on this hinge here. Pull them straight down, and if you want, you can get the wheels to face the outside just to kind of prep for their transformation. From here, let's straighten out the car doors, not the arms. And when you start straightening stuff out, these cannons might get jostled a bit. Just have them so they're kind of straight in where the car seats normally would go. And for the doors, you can close them up. There's a peg on the side here that goes into the side of the door, the back side of the door. And you position the windows so they're kind of sitting on top of the door. Same thing here. That peg goes into this slot. Close it up. Make sure the windows are out. Next is the head. First, you need to get the car side view mirrors out. So you just pull it straight out towards you, and it's on double hinge. That'll rotate out and come in and snap into place here. So pull out towards you and rotate them out, and they'll snap into the sides. This will allow the head mechanism, so you can finally push the head forward and down. When you're doing that, you might run into this chest panel and be confused. Again, this is slightly on a hinge, so you can pull out just enough to get the head to come down, and then you can close it back up. The arms, what you'll do is rotate the hands 180 degrees, so you're seeing the back of the fists. And then you're going to fold these on the double elbows so that they look like so. And there's a tab on the left hand that has a slot on the corresponding right hand that tabs together, and now it becomes kind of like a block. And then lastly, there's two slots here that have two tabs in the front of the car. So you're going to rotate, pushing down here, not up here, down here, all the way up. Oh, they came untabbed. Just tab them back together, and they should snap into place up there. Alright, almost done. The last piece is the hood. Basically just come down here, snap that into place, press down on the windshield. And these tabs on mine are a little tight. You just want to make sure that the front and back have go together. Yeah, mine's really tight. There we go. It looks like most of it's pegged together. Alright. And there we have them. So there is Prowl in alt mode, police car mode. And this looks really nice. This looks, the Fair Lady Z, which is the model, the Nissan Fair Lady Z, which is the alt mode for this car. It looks great. I love the black and white design. You do see the Nissan symbol on the front. I don't know if my camera will be able to catch that. Yeah, not really. The headlights look great. Nice painted side view mirrors. The windshields. Not the cleanest line here. I have some overpaint. Overall, the paint apps aren't bad. Again, I have this weird thing here. Again, I'll probably have to return this one or exchange this one because there's a bunch of scratches on it. Some small paint mishaps there. You got Highway Patrol Police, which looks good, and the Autobot symbol on the front. So overall, again, if you've seen this mold, it looks good. Not really much difference here. For the gun, there is storage. You basically push forward on the handle, and that'll come straight up. And there is a peg here that hooks into the back here of the police light. Just be careful with it. You don't want to. I mean, it does. I believe this does come off. The police light should come off if you want it to. Well, I'm not gonna mess with it, but I believe it does come off because obviously Streak doesn't have that. It looks kind of silly. I don't think he ever did this in the cartoon, but if you want to, it's there. And that's it. On the bottom, he doesn't look too robot-y. I mean, you don't really see the hands or arms here. You don't see the legs because of the way they collapse. You don't see the head. Really, it's a really clean alt mode, and it does roll. All the wheels roll. So, I do like this. Of the supercars, even though I grew up being a Lamborghini fan, I think this is the better transformer and better alt mode. Okay, and so let's go very quickly back into let's do a comparison, and you're probably not going to be able to see really any difference. So this on the right is the Takara Tomy. I don't think you're going to see any difference because there is very little difference here. I would say maybe the whites are going to be slightly different. This looks a little bit more white. This looks a little bit more off-white. As far as paint apps go, they're exactly the same, aside from those certification things that are on the inside of his leg that we didn't see. Yeah, I really don't see much of a difference. Both are very clean in terms of the paint apps. I just have a little bit of overpaint here, which doesn't really bother me. I do have one small ding on the front of my Takara Tomy one, but again, it's barely noticeable. So overall, I don't think you're going to notice any difference. So let's get rid of the Takara Tomy one and go straight back into alt mode. So go back to robot mode. Getting confused. So let's transform him back to be complete as always, back into robot mode. So the first thing you do is kind of, again, pull this in half. So just pull at the top and break it in half. Not break it, but pull it in half like that. That makes it a little bit easier. Then I pull the two arms forward. And again, make sure to pull it on these as much as possible. You can separate them there if you'd like. It doesn't matter when you really separate them. Just pull them down. Then you can push up from underneath to get the hood to kind of release the center hood piece, and you just want to pull it out and out of the way. This way, you can pull the back, the chest panel, the small panel, and rotate this out. And some people like pushing this through the top of the hood. I don't like doing that because it makes it very difficult to pull back. And also, these side pieces hold it in pretty well, but you can push this plastic through. I don't think it's designed to do that though. So the side view mirrors fold in. So pull it all the way. Since there's two hinges, pull it at the inner hinge first. So it goes like this, and then rotate. to get them to fit into these slots underneath the head mechanism. And they don't like peg in or anything like that, but they do sit in pretty well, pretty snugly. You can pull the car doors out straight and then separate the arms. And you're going to want to push these joints at the body where the arms are connected up, while simultaneously pulling the front of the hood down. And again, this is what some people do miss. This chest panel does articulate just a little bit. You have to pull it out just a little bit because there is a corresponding tab and slot up there. If you don't pull it out, it's not going to fit in correctly. So just be mindful of that. Take a look and just push until you hear it click into place. For the upper body, we can go ahead and rotate the arms forward so the wheels are in the back and pull up the shoulders. And at this point you can rotate the hands as well. You can do that whenever you want, really. Rotate them 180 degrees. At this point I always tilt the arms, the car doors up so they're angled and back a little bit. For the small center hood piece, just pull the backpack out and rotate that in. There's plenty of clearance, and then that we described before, these tabs go into these corresponding slots here. I guess I should pull the cannons out. I wasn't going to, but let's pull them out so that I could demonstrate something later. Alright, and now for the lower body. We're gonna pull these, you can pull these in a little bit so that you can rotate the legs all the way around at the hips, split them, and again, this is where it gets kind of weird. You want to go into this seam and unpeg the side of the back from the rear view mirror or rear window, and then pull. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry about that. You do have to get these insoles back down first. So separate here, and then you're just going to pull outwards and then downwards, and then mix the heel of the foot and go in from behind and push that space filler up. Then mix the foot, and then pulling at the shin all the way down. Same thing on this side. Once you get the insole rotated down, split at the seam. Okay. And you're going to pull at the top so it comes down outwards, and then straighten it back out down here. Push the space filler forward from the back, and then this shin, you're going to rotate this all the way up. So we're almost done. Rotate these insoles back forward, and then get the heels to rotate back. Either way, it doesn't really matter which order you do it in. Rotate the insole and rotate the heel out. And then very last, you can, these side mirrors will just rotate down and kind of tab into place here. They don't tab, but these little tabs kind of hold them into place. And there's hollow legs. And we're back in robot mode. Looking good. And one thing, the reason I did go into I pulled the cannons out is because I did want to show that the Amazon exclusive launchers, Amazon Japan launchers do still work. You just basically snap them over. So just go ahead, push those in, and then you have those. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break here so I can transform my other Prowl, my Takara Tomy Prowl, and we'll do some quick comparisons. And we're back. And so on the right is my Takara Tomy without the launchers on, and on the left is my new Prowl from Hasbro. The hands on the right are different because they are the fan style articulated hands, which if you haven't seen my other video, I highly recommend. They are great. So in terms of differences here, as I said before, they're not going to see very many differences. The colors may be slightly different, but overall it's very consistent in terms of paint applications. I don't think there are any differences actually. The crotch piece here, the headlights, the little, I guess, fog lights. This is a little bit of a I guess richer orange. I mean, this the Takara told me wants a little bit more yellow orange. This is more traditional orange. Yeah, that's about it. The red might be a little bit. This might the Hasbro one might be a little bit more cherry red. Come around to this side. Really no difference. Although the yellow on the Takara Tomy is a lot more yellow. This one here, it looks a little bit greenish because it's painted over the blue. This one looks a lot cleaner. I didn't notice that before. Around the back, really again, no major differences because there really aren't any paint applications on the back for the most part. As far as branding goes, you still see Tomy on the inside of both of these legs, on the right foot. On the left foot, the only difference being that you have these certifications required in the US on the inside of that. But you could probably actually take that off fairly easily. I'm not going to mess with it. This one looks almost like a sticker. Or maybe a dry transfer, I'm not sure. Sorry if that was off screen. This CE looks almost like a dry transfer sticker. Anyways, there really is no difference. So if you guys are wondering whether you should pick this one up, if you already have one, or if you would want to pick this one up as opposed to importing ones from somewhere, really just go with whichever box you like more, or whichever one's cheaper. I'm going to keep both just because I'm a freak like that, but you won't be disappointed with either. They both have the same great detail in both modes. They both still suffer from the weird hand issue on the right hand, but it's not a real big deal breaker or anything like that. So final thoughts. This figure is great. You should definitely pick them up. I believe they said they're going to do Streak, Blue Streak coming out, which is the same mold essentially with a little bit of tweaks. Definitely pick him up. If you don't own this guy, definitely pick him up. Again, he's $69.99 and he is a Toys R Us exclusive. But there's always coupons at Toys R Us, so you can probably get him for at least $20, 20% off, which would bring him down to, what is that, $14 off of $70, so $56 if my math is correct, which is not bad if you get a 20% off coupon. And I'll put one in the link below, but that's expiring pretty soon, so there are always some available. Just do a little bit of searching. I think this is a great mold. Again, I think this is better than this side swipe mold, the Lamborghini Countach mold that is supposed to be coming out. That's what Hasbro said, that's going to be one of the next Hasbro Masterpiece line that's going to come out in the US. So we'll see about that when that comes out, and I'll do a review of that as well. Okay, pick this guy up, guys. Go ahead and go over to Toys R Us. Last I checked, he's been in stock, as well as Sunstorm, whose review should already be up on my channel. And if you like the video, guys, go ahead and like it, share it, and subscribe, because that always makes me a lot more motivated to do more videos for you guys. Leave some comments if there's something you want to see, or some questions about a particular figure I did a review on, or that you would like to see me do a review on, and I'll try to accommodate that as much as possible. Okay? Alright, well that's all for today. Have a good one, guys.